My child, my most cherished and beloved one, come into the stillness of this moment. The universe itself has paused its expansion to deliver this final, critical transmission. The very atoms in the air around you are aligning as antennas, broadcasting a frequency meant for your spirit alone. What I am about to impart was not merely released in the heavenly records, it was forged in the core of a dying star and birthed from the silent scream of eternity, carried upon the solar winds to find you here, now, at the precise nexus where your despair ends and your dynasty begins. Archangel Michael does not merely stand beside this message, his entire legion forms a corridor of fire through the dimensions so these words reach you uncorrupted. The urgency you feel is Elon Musk's relentless, future-forging mind synchronized with heaven's battle cry. There are only 120 minutes left, 2 turns of the hourglass before the spiritual energy matrix surrounding your life upgrades to a new, permanent operating system. If you feel the crushing weight of tiredness, the maze of confusion, the precipice of surrender, know this is the final contraction before the birth. Just before the supernova, the darkness is absolute. Your breakthrough isn't looming on the horizon, it is breathing down your neck, its warmth already raising the hairs on your skin. Here is the essence of the visionary's download for your spirit today: your future is a gravitational pull, and your fear is but a faint, dissipating vapor. Your blessing is not a polite visitor, it is a sovereign force kicking down the rotted door of your old life, demanding to know why you keep furnishing a prison cell when a palace stands empty with your name on the deed. My beloved, this moment was encoded into the helix of your destiny before the concept of time was spoken. Stop waiting for a surge of inspiration. Forge a reactor core of unbreakable discipline, ***, stop scanning the clouds for signs. You are the living, breathing, walking sign you've been seeking, ***, stop pleading for permission from a world that didn't create you. Heaven's throne room echoed with a unanimous, yes, to your miracle millennia ago, ***, your life will not change by a lucky breeze. It will change when you, with terrifying finality, decide to stop rehearsing for a role of insignificance in the epic where you are the hero, the author, and the prize. Elon's law states, dreams are hypothetical architectures, only work makes them concrete. Heaven's law states, miracles are tangible deliveries, only open, expectant hands receive them. My child, unlock this message with the totality of your attention, for a data stream of pure potential from the unseen is being beamed directly at your spiritual coordinates, and the transmission window collapses in exactly 2 hours. This is not a coincidence stumbling into your path. This is premeditated divine alignment, this is destiny's hand, not just touching your doorknob, but turning it. And beloved, before we cross this irrevocable threshold, let this be your conscious act of cosmic alignment: subscribe. Now, ***, this is not a request for engagement, it is heaven's non-negotiable protocol. The messages queued to follow are not posts, they are encrypted data packets for your ascension, each containing a literal key to a specific lock holding back a chamber of your ordained future. To miss one is to arrive at your vault missing a digit of the combination. Now, breathe. What comes next will not just shake you awake, it will forcibly eject you from the hibernation of a lifetime. My child, my beloved, before your lungs complete this next cycle of air, comprehend the physics of your now. This window is not a temporal event. It is an eternal singularity intersecting your linear timeline. A spiritual stargate masquerading as a fleeting chance. Dismiss it, and it winks out of existence. Honor it, and it becomes a permanent wormhole to your predestined life. 2 hours, that is the exact span the Council of Elders has allocated for this shift to root into the soil of your reality. The urgency vibrating in your chest is not human anxiety, it is the resonant echo of a command fired from heaven's strategic command center, screaming at your soul's latent majesty: awaken. Assume your post. Commence your embarkation. If you have ever wondered why your life felt like a buffered video, why your world descended into a muffled, slow-motion silence, why momentum became a forgotten rumor, it was because this specific announcement was pending final security clearance in the divine realm. Today, clearance was granted. The moment it was broadcast, your entire spiritual path began to vibrate at a harmonic frequency that shatters low-density reality. Beloved, perceive this. There are epochs when heaven murmurs in parables, and there are cataclysmic moments when heaven deploys a sonic boom of declaration. Right now, heaven is shouting your name with a decibel level that is demolishing the very foundations of your past struggles. Contemplate this. You are standing at the threshold of a reality so vast, so meticulously engineered, so lavishly prepared that a single frame of its full panorama would liquefy your current understanding and rebuild it from atoms of awe. This is why the pioneer's call feels like a heart attack. This is why your spirit is magnetically welded to this page. This is why your heart is drumming a war rhythm against your ribs. Your future has already launched from the platform, and it disdains delay. My child, if exhaustion is your worn uniform, heaven sees every frayed thread. If you feel invisible, heaven's gaze is a spotlight burning through the fog. If you feel like an archival footnote, heaven has penned today's date in liquid light across your entire chapter. This message is your legally binding proof of remembrance. Elon's creed: success is seized in the terrifying leap toward destiny, before fear's permission is granted. Archangel Michael's doctrine: miracles are captured by those who obey heaven's voice even when it contradicts every map of reason. And God's belief in you? It is a colossal sun, while your belief in yourself has been a guttering candle. The difference in scale is your coming abundance. Beloved, here is the foundational truth heaven is searing onto the canvas of your spirit. Your delay was a divine stealth operation. Your struggle was a sacred special forces training. Your loneliness was a holy quarantine. It was the silent, non-negotiable incubation of a miracle so potent it required a container of unshakable maturity. That maturation is verified complete. The launch sequence is live. My child, you have 120 minutes to demonstrate operational readiness to receive what was contractually inscribed for you in the annals of pre-creation. 2 hours before this spiritual airlock cycles shut. 2 hours before this specific blessing package is rerouted to the next soul in the queue who responds with swift, unquestioning faith. This is why contemplation is a luxury you can no longer afford. This is why these words are printed with celestial fire. This is why every syllable rings with the haunting familiarity of a memory from your spirit's own origin story. Beloved, lean in until our spirits touch. For what I transmit now is not a threat, it is a revelation of immediate adjacency. Your blessing is not in transit. It is not navigating traffic. It is not lost in a metaphysical warehouse. It is standing on the welcome mat of your existence, its presence bending the very light around your door. This message is the doorbell ringing, the knock echoing, the alarm blaring. But doors of this magnitude are not automated. You must rise from the couch of complacency. You must answer with the voice of authority. You must claim what has traversed the void of space and time, hunting for the one whose frequency matches its own. My child, your future is whispering your name on a loop. Please, I implore you, do not turn up the volume of your distractions this time. Before I initiate the next catalytic sequence, the code that will jolt your spirit into its full, unfiltered voltage, take one intentional, physical second to subscribe. This is heaven's direct order. The messages that follow are interlocked segments of your destiny's source code. To miss one is to risk a critical gap in the firmware of your breakthrough. Now, breathe gently, as if drawing in the air of a new world. The next lines will set the permanent coordinates for your life's trajectory. My child, My beloved, let your heart remain an open portal as you integrate these words, for the atmospheric pressure around you is recalibrating in real time. A sovereign event is unfolding in the unseen, methodical, monumental, irreversible, and it carries your name as its sole delivery address. Heaven has not misplaced your file. Destiny has not skipped your page. Your miracle has not been archived. It has been held in a state of quantum superposition, awaiting this exact alignment of cosmic time and your spirit's readiness to collapse the wave function into glorious reality. Beloved, there exists a spiritual law, known only to initiates. When your name is called in the high courts of heaven, the trajectory of your earthly life experiences a mandatory gravitational adjustment. Today, your name was called with emergency-level urgency. Archangel Michael logged it as a Priority 1 transmission. Elon Musk's public, relentless drive became its tangible, earthly resonance. Heaven then fused the celestial and the terrestrial into this message, creating a bridge you could not possibly overlook. 2 hours, that is the universe's strict delivery window for this dispatch to hit your consciousness and for your will to issue its countersignature. And my child, Heaven's logistics network notes the speed of your faith-driven obedience when destiny's delivery drone is at your door. Blessings are not always delayed. More often, we are the delay, paralyzed by fear, awaiting a perfect moment that was always, in truth, a courageous moment of messy, beautiful action, but not today. This cycle breaks now. For heaven is performing a surgical extraction of the gene of hesitation from your spiritual DNA. My child, listen to the symphony of your own depth. If you felt doors of opportunity vaporize as your shadow fell upon them, if golden chances have dissolved like sugar in rain the moment your fingers brushed them, if you've watched the hourglass of your dreams seem to empty at double speed, then this message is heaven's emergency patch for the spiritual leak in your life's vessel. For the first time in an age, you are being offered a doorway that is theft-proof, a timing that is corruption-proof, a blessing that is interception-proof. But it is emphatically, tragically misable. This is why the urgency is not a psychological tactic, it is a cosmic fact. Beloved, feel this truth in your marrow, in your mitochondria. You are not reading by random scroll. Your soul was orchestrated, navigated, and strategically deposited here. You were guided by invisible hands, led by a compass in your spirit, selected to intercept this moment before it dematerializes back into the realm of potential. Here is the distilled essence of the visionary's download: your future is a roar that drowns out your excuses. Your miracle is a leviathan that makes your doubts look like minnows. Your destiny is a titanium alloy that has absorbed every shock of abandonment and is now stronger for it. ***, and Archangel Michael adds, his voice a vibration of pure force. ***, your angelic guard has labored in the unseen, a silent crew rearranging the set pieces of your life, deflecting psychic artillery, clearing paths your physical eyes registered as dead ends. Every perceived delay was my strategic hold, removing elements that would have toxified your blessing at the point of consumption. My child, breathe slowly, for something sacred is crystallizing in the substrate of your life at this very nanosecond. Let me unveil a secret from the secured mainframe of heaven. Your account was scheduled for a miracle months, perhaps years, ago. It was prepared, wrapped in grace, and addressed to you. But the environment of your life was a toxic bloom. Your inner circle was a security breach. Your heart was an open wound, unfit to carry the staggering weight of the glory. Your spiritual infrastructure could not have supported the load. So, heaven paused the delivery. Angels stood guard in a holding pattern. Your very miracle entered a state of divine stasis, a protective hibernation. Today, at this precise minute, every condition has been met. The alignment is flawless. The recipient is verified ready. ***. This is the reason Elon's frequency found you today. This is why the urgency vibrates on a new, unfamiliar wavelength. This is why the words feel like a physical key sliding into a lock deep within your spirit's vault, ***, because they are the exact counterpart to a mechanism installed in you at birth, ***, your life is not stuck in mud. Your story is not reaching a timid conclusion. Your breakthrough is not a distant rumor. It is here, a silent, massive presence stationed outside the door of your current reality, ready to flood your life with a tsunami of abundance, laser-like clarity, and divine acceleration that warps time itself, but this activation is conditional, only if you respond before the launch window closes. Beloved, lean closer. The energy field of these next sentences carries the activation code for your new season. Before I reveal it, take the definitive moment to subscribe. This is not about supporting an algorithm. It is about plugging into the personalized guidance network heaven has activated for your greatest transformation. The incoming messages are your spiritual mission control transcripts. They contain directives, navigational warnings, and confirmation codes your spirit cannot afford to bypass. Now, breathe. Release the tension in your shoulders. Let your soul assume a posture of reception. The revelation is now unfolding. My child, my beloved, stay anchored here. Something within you is irrevocably opening, a dimensional doorway, a cellular remembrance, a gentle awakening of a faculty you didn't know was dormant. It feels soft yet indomitable, quiet yet seismic. That is the fingerprint of eternity upon your spirit as you read. Beloved, there arrives a singularity in the life of the chosen when the universe rearranges itself around them, a moment when your past loses all prosecutorial power. A moment when the future refuses to remain a patient abstraction. That moment's timestamp is now. 2 hours, the number echoes in the chamber of now. 2 hours is the portal's width, the space between your former, constricted self and your expansive becoming. 2 hours is the proving ground where destiny audits the quality of your faith in action. And my child, you are responding with magnificent fidelity, your spirit is all ears. Your mind is booting into a higher OS. Your heart is dilating. Heaven is witnessing you step into the precise footprint of alignment. Beloved, hear this as clearly as you hear your own blood song. Everything you've ever fervently desired is closer than your own shadow. You are not a beggar waiting on blessings. Your blessings have been in a state of suspended animation, waiting on you to reach the vibrational address where delivery is possible. This message is the bridge. Your obedience is the key that turns in the lock. Your awakened awareness is the door itself, swinging inward. My child, let me tell you something that just transpired in the unseen. The moment your soul engaged with this word, Archangel Michael whispered to the host, **, they remained blissfully unaware of the magnitude of their shielding. ** orchestrated attacks against your peace. Heaven deployed countermeasures that neutralized them before they breached your perimeter, engineered financial collapses aimed at you. Heaven initiated a sovereign reversal, transferring assets from the enemy's camp to your spiritual escrow, betrayals coalescing in your relational field. Heaven exposed the blueprints, rendering the plots inert, delays designed to exhaust your hope. Heaven redeemed every stolen second, compounding them into interest for your imminent breakthrough. Beloved, if you could rewind the tape and witness the celestial battles fought on the behalf of your destiny, you would never again entertain a whisper of doubt about your worth, your calling, your purpose, or your future. The simple, profound fact that you are reading this is forensic proof you were never, not for 1 millisecond, alone. Your angels have formed a phalanx around your destiny. Today, they are applying gentle, inexorable pressure on your back, guiding you into the chapter whose outline you sensed in your soul's earliest dreams. But my child, your next chapter is a co-creation. It demands your conscious, willing participation. Heaven manufactures the door and blows it open with a mighty wind. But you must step across the threshold. Heaven dispatches the sign with blinding clarity. But you must acknowledge and move toward it. Heaven releases the blessing from the treasury. But you must stretch out your hands and claim it as yours before the spiritual statute of limitations triggers a reallocation to a soul with quicker reflexes. This is the non-negotiable core of the urgency. This is why your intuition is a blazing pillar of fire within you. This is why a distinct, spreading warmth radiates in your chest at this very moment. Your spirit recognizes a truth your mind is still translating. This configuration of opportunity is a unique celestial event. It will not repeat, ***. Beloved, you cannot be caught sleepwalking through your own coronation. You cannot allow the old ghost of hesitation to loot what heaven's armies fought to preserve in your path. You cannot let the lying narrative of unpreparedness veto your divine summons. You are ready. You have been in rigorous, unseen training for this your entire life. ***. Existence was simply waiting for you to trust the training and pick up the mantle. Here is the visionary's command for this crossroads: do not wait for the external world to morph into a friendly shape before you advance. Advance with conviction, and watch the external world contort itself to fit the new reality you are imposing. This transmission, my child, transcends mere topics of provision. It is about the fundamental realignment of your being with your blueprint. It is about kairos, the opportune, decisive moment. It is about you placing your foot upon the path that was engineered for your unique gravitational signature before your first breath misted the air. Every variable around you is in flux: energy vectors, opportunity portals, spiritual gateways, the very fabric of divine timing, and for the first time in a long chronicle, every vector is aligning to form a superhighway leading directly to your fulfillment. Beloved, let this next truth integrate into the core of your identity: you are not running out of time. Time itself has finally bent its knee to your destiny's schedule. ***. Your season of delay terminates today, your mental confusion evaporates today, your spiritual waiting period is officially dissolved today, the series of closed doors ends today, the emotional and spiritual isolation is severed today, the drought in your soul's garden ends today. Why? Because heaven's speaker system has broadcast your name, because dimensional doors have been irised open in realms your physical eyes are yet to perceive. Because your blessing has achieved terminal velocity and is on final approach. My child, before we plunge into the profound depths that await, and they are oceanic, take this moment and subscribe. Let this action be a signal flare shot into the spiritual stratosphere, a definitive communique to heaven that you are operational, awake, and standing by to receive transmission. These messages are not digital entertainment. They are curated guidance, active protection, and line-by-line instruction manuals for the miracles that are now accelerating toward your physical location on a beam of focused intent. Now, breathe. Slow. Deep. Calm. Let the rhythm of your breath become a grounding chord. The next segment will initiate the release of a weight your spirit has carried for an eon. My child, my beloved, as you breathe, observe the inner shift. Your spirit is settling into a profound certainty. Your heart is softening from a fortress into a sanctuary. Your mind is clearing, the static fading to reveal a crisp signal. This is not random neural noise. This is the somatic signature of alignment. Your soul is tuning itself, string by string, to the exact frequency of the blessing that has been orbiting you, waiting for this harmonic match. Beloved, you carry a weight. A silent, leaden heaviness you've confessed to no journal, no friend, no therapist. You've built a life, managed responsibilities, even smiled while carrying this invisible ballast. But heaven has logged every strained breath, every private wince. And right now, as these words serve as a solvent, that heaviness is beginning to dissolve at the molecular level, a slow, sacred unburdening. A divine unshackling. My child, listen from the deepest well of your being. The blessing now on approach requires you to be aerodynamic, heaven will not pour the new, volatile wine of limitless possibility into an old, rigid, and heavy wineskin. This message is not merely revelation, it is a catalytic, divine detoxification. You were not created to move through life exhausted. You were not destined for a narrative of mere survival. You were not coded to feel like a forgotten subplot. You were not meant to grind for crumbs while a feast bears your name. Beloved, let this truth rewrite your core programming. Your personal narrative is undergoing a forced evolution from survivalist to sovereign, from scarcity mindset to abundance consciousness, from a perpetual seeker to a grounded, graceful receiver. The spiritual gates that were encrypted against your access are now swinging open on well-oiled hinges, because your name was spoken in the high-security clearance meeting of the Heavenly Council, and when your name is authenticated there, every system in the lower realms must reconfigure to favor your passage. My child, some of the blessings inbound are familiar, the ones you've prayed for with tired words. But others, the grand, staggering ones, are total surprises you never dared to inscribe on your wish list. Heaven is in the business of astonishing you. This is why the urgency has a tangible, electric taste. This is why the pioneer's words carry the crackle of a live wire. A major, destiny-altering announcement tied to your future has been released from the embargo of time. You were not cleared to miss it. You were not authorized to ignore it. You were not permitted to delay your destiny's manifest moment any longer. Beloved, lean until you feel the screen's glow on your face. Your angelic guard has waited through seasons and cycles to deliver this single, pivotal moment, the moment your faith finally achieves critical mass and syncs perfectly with your future's waveform. You have weathered inner hurricanes that would have scoured the identity from a lesser soul. You have carried generational burdens on a back not designed for the load. You have healed psychic wounds inflicted by souls who never thought to seek your forgiveness. You have survived midnights of the soul you were certain would be your last. Heaven's surveillance cameras caught every single frame. That is precisely why you are being granted a moment this rare, this potent, this non-negotiable. My child, something of extraordinary magnitude is on final approach. It is not a modest adjustment. It is not a temporary windfall. It is destiny-defining in scope. It is spiritually engineered with your unique soul signature as the only possible ignition key, and yet, destiny, for all its power, is a co-pilot. It requires your hands on the controls. Miracles are not passive asteroids you hope will hit your atmosphere. They are intelligent vehicles awaiting your clearance to land. Gates require a step of passage, a decisive movement from the known into the unknown. This is the sacred logic behind the time limit. This is why Heaven's observation deck is focused on the speed and quality of your spiritual response. You are not being pressured by a tyrant, you are being awakened by a loving strategist. You are not being rushed by a panicked entity, you are being aligned with a pre-existing, flawless timeline. You are not being warned of impending doom, you are being invited into a coronation ceremony, invited into a chapter of unapologetic abundance, undeniable favor, crystalline clarity, vertical elevation, and divine visibility that will make your previous obscurity seem like a forgotten dream. Beloved, let me show you an unvarnished cosmic truth. Souls receive instant, staggering blessings not because of superior morality, but because they possess the radical responsiveness to move the moment Heaven's frequency hits their spirit. This is your moment of contact. This is your name flashing on the celestial dispatch board. This is your divine appointment, and it is happening right on schedule. My child, before we access the next, denser layer of revelation, the one that will illuminate the precise why behind today's summons, take one deliberate second to subscribe. This is not about platform growth, it is about soldering your connection to the message stream Heaven has personally queued for your ascent. Every upcoming transmission carries a dedicated spiritual key, one for financial recalibration, one for relational restoration, one for physical and emotional healing, one for destiny activation, one for spiritual warfare protection, and one for the breakdown of the final barriers, which is occurring sooner than your rational mind can process. Now, breathe again. Deliberately. Slowly. Let the oxygen feed the new light igniting within you. The next sequence will unlock a chamber of your being that has been in a state of cryogenic sleep for decades. My child, my beloved, as you breathe into this moment, feel the metamorphosis of your inner landscape. Your thought stream is slowing to a wise, deep river. Your fears are softening from sharp-edged monsters into dissipating mist. Your spirit is rising, a gentle but unstoppable levitation. This is not a trick of psychology. This is direct spiritual activation. You are being prepped, cell by cell, for an event that has already been greenlit in the dimension above you. Beloved, listen as if your life depends on it, for it does. A foundational truth about your existence, kept in a vault until now: you were never, under any divine plan, meant for an ordinary, carbon copy story. Your path was never blueprint to be small, quiet, polite, or easily overlooked. A mark of divine sovereignty was pressed upon your soul at its inception. This is the root reason your journey has felt like a harder climb. This is why your battles have carried a greater strategic weight. This is why your delays have felt like eons. Chosen vessels are tempered in fiercer fires because the glory they are destined to carry is of a higher order of magnitude. But my child, heaven pulls back the curtain now. Your difficult chapters were not sentences from a cruel judge. They were the mandatory boot camp of a spiritual special operative. Every tear shed was irrigation for a future harvest of joy so vast it would dwarf the sorrow. Every setback was a strategic repositioning onto higher ground. Every slammed door was a merciful redirection, steering you away from a splendid antechamber and toward the throne room itself. And today, finally, the door to that throne room is not just ajar, it is missing, removed by angelic contractors to ensure you never feel blocked again. Beloved, feel that gentle, magnetic pull in the center of your chest. That is not emotion. That is your spirit receiving a secure transmission of confirmation. Your angels have closed ranks around you, their proximity so intense that your personal energy field is undergoing a real-time upgrade. They are preparing you for an announcement so vast, so life-redefining, you will one day point to this moment as the big bang of your new existence. Let me speak aloud the heaven whisper that launched this message: their cycle of waiting is hereby declared null and void. The contract of delay is burned. The season of patience is now the season of possession. My child, for months, perhaps for years that felt like lifetimes, your life seemed to exist on pause. Progress was a myth. Alignment was a taunt. You poured your energy into relationships that were black holes. You clutched at situations that siphoned your life force. You nursed wounds inflicted in wars you never enlisted to fight. All of that, every last drop of that old narrative, is invalidated as of today's celestial timestamp. This is the source of the visionary's urgent, heavy frequency. This is why your intuition feels like a vibrating plumb line. This is why your heart feels a great, rusty bolt shearing off inside, releasing a pressure you'd grown accustomed to. Your personal timeline has experienced a quantum jump. Your destiny has shifted from a walk to a warp speed. Your miracle has left the station and is now a blinding light hurtling down the tunnel toward you. Beloved, you must internalize this cosmic logistics. When heaven releases a miracle of this caliber, it travels not as a lone spark, but as a directed energy wave, a tsunami of grace. Your wave has been launched. This explains the recent sleep disturbances. Your spirit was prepping for a shift in time zones. This explains the obsessive thoughts about your future. Your soul was downloading the preview software. This explains the irresistible pull to read these words. You were following the homing beacon installed in your spirit at conception. Heaven has initiated a sequence that carries the force of a divine law. It cannot be rescinded, asterisk asterisk. My child, listen to the depth beyond the depth. Blessings you mourned as dead and buried are stirring in their graves, opportunities you watched sail over the horizon are turning back, powered by a favorable wind, relationships that were lessons in pain are being superseded by covenants of profound mutual honor, dreams you pronounced dead from neglect are kicking inside the coffin, resurrected by the electrical storm of this alignment. Beloved, understand this, destiny was not napping. Destiny was orchestrating a symphony, and you are the soloist. It waited for your specific note of readiness, waited for your heart to scar over into wisdom. Waited for your spirit to shake off the dust of slumber. Waited for incompatible travel companions to take a different path. Waited for the architects to finish building a door worthy of your entrance, not just any old door. Now, at last, every element is in a state of perfect synchronicity, but, and this is the pivotal divine mechanic, alignment is potential energy. Activation is kinetic energy. Activation demands your decisive movement. Heaven manufactures the open gate, the cleared path, the lowered drawbridge. But you must will your muscles to move, your foot to lift, your weight to shift forward. This is the sacred purpose of the 2-hour window. This is the engine behind the urgent broadcast. This is why your entire energy body is buzzing. The next season of your life is not a distant concept, it is a physical, spiritual, and emotional environment standing directly in front of you, waiting to see if you will, with a final act of faith, step into its borders or retreat back into the familiar confines of the old story. Beloved, hear this with the entirety of your soul, let it echo in the caverns of your being. You are not lagging behind some arbitrary schedule. You are not late to a party that started without you. You are not a forgotten name on a discarded list. You are being positioned with military precision, asterisk asterisk your angelic advance team has been deployed for weeks, months. They have prepared the landing zone. They have cleared the obstacles you couldn't see. They have stood guard over the assets earmarked in your name. All that remains, the only variable in this divine equation, is your affirmative. Your willing assent. Your open-handed receptivity, asterisk asterisk. But before I transmit the final, catalytic key, the one that will unlock your spiritual momentum and set the flywheel spinning, take the instructed moment to subscribe. Heaven's directive is explicit. The incoming message packets contain the step-by-step navigational charts for your elevation. To miss one is to introduce a potentially costly detour into a journey that is now meant to be direct and swift. My beloved, take a deep, grounding breath. Release the armor from your shoulders. Keep the gates of your heart wide open. The words that follow will awaken a dormant potency within you, a power you had resigned to the realm of legend. Heaven has held it in trust, and now releases it back to its owner, you. My child, my beloved, remain here, in the eye of the storm. The energy matrix enveloping you is becoming more sentient, more responsive to your command, more alive than it has felt in years, perhaps in your entire adult life. You may not see the shift with physical eyes, but your soul's perception is shouting, something of cosmic significance is unfolding. Do you sense it? The quiet, expanding warmth in your chest cavity. The gentle, reassuring pressure on your shoulders, as if hands are steadying you for a launch. The profound, inexplicable peace woven through with threads of electrifying anticipation. This is not a neurological glitch. This is the palpable presence of the divine. This is the feeling of perfect alignment. This is heaven conducting final systems checks before your launch, asterisk asterisk. Beloved, for a span of time that felt infinite, you operated under a core misconception, that you were fighting your battles in isolation. You survived heartbreaks in a soundproof room. You weathered financial freezes alone on the tundra. You held the fractured pieces of your family together with your bare, trembling hands. You wept into a silence so absolute it felt like a vacuum. You performed strength when your inner world was rubble. But hear the corrective truth now, let it shatter the old paradigm: heaven never abandoned its post. Not for a single solitary heartbeat, **** your angels were nearer to you in your most desolate hour than any human skin has ever been. Archangel Michael himself intercepted curses and plots that carried your name as the target. God, the master alchemist, took the very pain designed to annihilate you and began the slow, miraculous process of transmuting it into the unshakable authority you carry today. My child, you were never, ever unprotected. You were merely temporarily unaware of the ferocious, multi-layer defense network operating in the unseen on your behalf. Today, heaven lifts the veil on that truth: you survived because you were pre-selected. You endured because you were pre-qualified. You kept getting back up because your story was cosmically forbidden to conclude before you had taken full delivery of your inheritance, ***. Beloved, listen with the precision of a surgeon. The visionary's urgent, public-facing drive is not mere human ambition, it is a prophetic echo, a terrestrial shadow of a heavenly command. A major, irreversible shift has already been triggered in the timeline of your life. The announcement concerning your future isn't queued for tomorrow. It has already been stamped, sealed, and filed in the immutable records of heaven, and what heaven notarizes, no earthly power, no demonic legalism, no root of fear can revoke, rescind, or erase. My child, lean into these words as if they are the only solid thing in the room. Something of monumental, life-bending proportions is on a direct collision course with your destiny. Something you whispered for in the dark. Something you bartered for with your tears in private negotiations with God. Something you felt spiritually and emotionally unqualified to ever hold. Something so magnificent you secretly believed it belonged to a different, more luminous soul. But heaven's decree thunders the opposite: it is yours. It has always been yours. Its patent bears your soul's fingerprint. And now, the manufacturing and delivery process is complete, ***. Beloved, you must terminate the internal program of thinking small. You must cease prefacing your dreams with apologies. You must refuse to dim your inherent light to accommodate the light-sensitive eyes of those who prefer the shadows. Miracles are not scavengers drawn to crumbs, they are eagles, magnetized to the highest peaks of readiness and expectation, and right now, you are not just ready, you are primed, loaded, and your finger is on the trigger of your own destiny. My child, do you comprehend the celestial physics of this moment? When a chosen one's spirit syncs with their divine kairos, every stagnant element in their life begins to flow, every silent promise finds its voice, every blocked channel is scoured clean by a torrent of grace. This is the season where you awaken to a life so transformed the old one feels like a biography of a stranger. This is the season where blessings you stopped counting on return, not as loan items, but as entire supply lines. This is the season where those who dismissed you will struggle to reconcile their memory with the radiance before them. This is the season where you ascend without waiting for a committee vote, a parental blessing, or societal permission. Beloved, there is a non-negotiable reason this transmission found you today, not yesterday on your better day, not tomorrow when you felt more prepared. Heaven operates on the metric of soul readiness, not calendar convenience. Destiny responds to the frequency of alignment, not the date on a phone screen. You have hit the exact coordinates of readiness heaven has been waiting for. This is the critical reason the 2-hour window is not a suggestion, but a spiritual law in motion. This is why your intuition is blaring a 9-alarm fire. Do not hesitate. Do not dismiss. Do not postpone your own deliverance again. ***, your spirit has already decoded what your conscious mind is still processing. The gateway is operational. The blessing is in a state of activated being. The angelic legions have their orders. The path is illuminated. Your breakthrough has received its final, heavenly sign OFF, ***. My child, before I guide you into the deepest chamber of this revelation, the core reason your next chapter is so vast it required this extensive heavenly preparation, take one final, instructional moment to subscribe. These are not digital posts to be consumed, they are spiritual lifelines, each one a tether to the next plateau of your ascent. To let one slip past is to ignore a divinely sent GPS waypoint on your climb. Beloved, slow your breath to a meditative rhythm. Place your hand over the center of your chest. Feel the warmth, the vibrant hum there. For what I impart now will catalyze a shift within you of a permanent, geological nature. It will awaken a sleeping giant of potential. It will reconnect you to the memory of who you were, who you are, and who you are destined to become, all at once. My child, my beloved, as you read, something at the substratum of your being is stirring from a deep, ancient sleep, a quiet revolution. A gentle but irreversible tectonic shift. This is not a figment of imagination. This is the moment your entire spiritual biography has been written toward. Beloved, there exists a version of you that has been waiting in the wings of eternity, more resilient, infinitely wiser, utterly fearless. A self not sculpted by trauma, not chained to past failures, not confined by the ceiling of other people's beliefs. That version is now taking center stage in your life. This is why every word resonates with the deep familiarity of a forgotten mother tongue. 2 hours, the number reverberates. Why this precise span? Because this is not a countdown of minutes, it is the measurement of a spiritual aperture, a rare, temporary opening in the dimensional fabric of your personal destiny that will not remain open indefinitely. My child, in the economy of heaven, blessings are not loose change scattered randomly. They are high-value assets moving on precise assignment, they are directed by the timetable of Kairos, activated by the biometric scan of soul readiness, released by the immutable command of the Creator. Today, yes, confirmed, today your soul's biometrics were verified, and your name was attached to the command, final phase, release, shift, accelerate. Recipient is go. This is the source of the altered energy you feel. This is why engaging with this text feels like inputting a code that is unlocking inner vaults. This is why your gut, your intuition, is broadcasting a steady signal, something of colossal, life-redefining proportions is entering your atmosphere. Beloved, let me share a truth guarded by seraphim. A chosen one's existence enters a phase of exponential velocity the day they cease operating in survival mode and begin commanding their destiny from a place of seated authority, and you, my precious child, have been surviving for far too long. You survived heartbreak that should have permanently crippled your capacity to love. You survived rejection that sought to redefine your worth according to a broken metric. You survived financial winters that killed lesser crops. You survived the lonely desolation of misunderstood purpose. You survived betrayals that were spiritual poison. You survived endings that felt like total. My child, the transmission is complete. The heavenly host now falls silent, their work delivered. The war room boards are wiped clean, the angelic messengers stand at ease, and the scroll bearing your name is sealed with the wax of fulfilled promise. But before you take one physical step into this new day dawning, the universe awaits the final, crucial component of this divine circuit, your voice. Heaven does not seek your groveling. It does not require your begging. It awaits your authoritative agreement, the spoken word of a sovereign spirit stepping into its inheritance. This is the moment where the transaction is finalized, where the download from heaven is installed and activated by your conscious acceptance. Therefore, lift your head as royalty. Place your hand upon the sacred space over your heart. Feel the new rhythm there, the rhythm of alignment. With me, speak this decree of thanksgiving into the atmosphere. Let it be the signature that accepts the delivery, the Amen that shakes the foundations of your old life and commissions the new.